Everyone thinks that scaling a marketing agency is all about getting more leads, getting more clients, getting more calls booked and all this stuff. But I must say, that is complete cap. It's just not true. The agencies that get stuck in the 5, 10, 20,000 a month range are the only ones who are obsessed about the client acquisition loops and all these methods, while completely ignoring the core fundamentals that actually scale agencies to 50 to 100,000 a month. And as much as I would like to sit here and tell you that some magical cold email script or some LinkedIn DM tool will automatically scale your agency to 50,000 a month, and trust me, if I could say that, I would, because that would make my life way easier. Unfortunately, that is just not the case. And you're probably here expecting this to be another make money with your agency kind of video where some guru screams at you about outrageous claims and about magical hacks that will make you rich by next Tuesday. But once again, unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case here. And I know you've probably watched dozens of these videos about who to hire and who to fire and how to scale your agency and what bottlenecks to solve and what cold email methods to use and all this stuff. And still, after all this time, you are stuck. And I 100% get it, because I've been there and I know that it can get super confusing. There's so much information online and most of it is outdated or just has never worked in the first place. I remember when I started my first agency like 7 years ago, and I didn't know anything that I know today. There was really no one who could teach me. There was really nowhere where I could learn, and I was just scrambling around watching YouTube videos, paying for a bunch of different tools that I didn't need, and just wasting money and, more importantly, wasting time trying to scale. But I just couldn't figure it out. The reality is that in the year 2025, for you to scale a growth marketing agency to 50, 75, 100, 150,000 a month, whatever it might be, really the only thing you need is just some good core fundamentals. And I talk to a lot of agency owners every single week, and most of them do not have even half of this stuff in place. So in today's video, I'm gonna be pulling back the curtain or just explaining how we actually do this, how we scale our own agency, how we scale other agencies, and just showing you the actually tested, true and tested and proven methods that we actually still to this day use to scale agencies. The number one core fundamental people miss is their agency's positioning. They are so afraid of turning away potential clients or leaving money on the table that they end up building poorly positioned everything for everyone agencies. You know, a potential client comes your way and it's not really your ideal niche, it's not really a service that you provide, but there's some opportunity to make a little bit of money, and you end up taking that, and that destroys, first of all, your positioning, and second of all, your focus. It's really simple. Just focus on one company type. It can be an industry or just a vertical. So for example, working with startups or working with agencies or working with enterprise level companies or working with Norwegian accountants, doesn't really matter, but one core vertical, and provide one transformation to them. Take them from point A to point B. Help Norwegian accounting company go from fully reliant on referrals to actually having a predictable outbound mechanism to fill their calendar, or helping that pre-seed startup get their next funding round, raise their seed round, and find product market fit. Because when you position your whole agency to achieve this one transformation to this one specific group of companies, you are able to make so much more optimized systems and operations and processes than all your competitors. If the only thing that I do is help early stage startups raise a round and find product market fit for 5 years straight, I'm gonna be pretty damn good at it, and I'll have pretty good processes to do it. I'll know exactly what to test. I'll know exactly what marketing channels to do. I'll know exactly how to run customer interviews. I have everything dialed in because I've had so much time to optimize it. If there's some random agency that tries to compete with us, they will get absolutely destroyed because we have just so much more time and resources and money and focus put into it that will just be a million times better. And because of this, we are able to charge 3, 5, 10 times more than any of our competitors, because first of all, we are just way better at it, and second of all, we of course have better results, better case studies, and everything else is more dialed in our agency. And then once you master this one transformation, it might take you 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, who knows, then you can add on things into the backend. You can start doing other services. You can start doing landing pages, other lead generation mechanisms, do whatever. You can add on services and provide more stuff to your clients, or you can scale to other verticals. Maybe instead of just working with Norwegian accountants, you can also work with Swedish and Finnish and Estonian accountants, whatever. But you first have to nail that one niche, one service, one transformation, and actually get really good at it before you can move on to that stuff. The second core fundamental that people mess up with their agencies is the actual lead flow and the value of the lead flow. you know? Everywhere online, no matter where you look, people are talking about, book 10 meetings, 20 meetings, 50 meetings, a million meetings. Everyone's just focused on filling their calendar and hiring 10 salespeople and filling their calendars, that they actually forget what is the main reason why you're booking these calls in the first place. Why would you shoot for 30 qualified meetings in a week or in a month even, if you first of all can't convert them, second of all can't keep them with you for a long enough time, and third of all can't even serve them? That is crazy. So instead of just focusing all of your efforts into, hey, how can we get as many leads as possible, put your effort and focus into figuring out how can we have the highest possible closing rate from these leads, how can we get the highest quality leads so we don't have to get as many, and how can we charge them as much as possible. Of course, don't charge for bullshit, but how can we actually deliver them so much value that we can charge them more money? And suddenly you don't need 100 leads every single month again. Of course, for example, at our agency last month, May 2025, we booked 255 discovery calls. That is a lot, and there's a lot of capacity issues and stuff that's come from that, but that is a conscious choice. We have been doing this for years. We have been doing 7 figures for a long time, but especially when you're starting out and you're below like 50,000 a month, you really rarely need that many calls. Usually what you just need to do is actually figure out how you can charge more and how you can make more money from each lead. And a big part of this is, first of all, lead quality. So when you're doing outbound campaigns, when you're doing any kind of marketing, again, be really specific who you're talking towards to. So if you know that your best client is that Norwegian accounting company, just reach out to them and just focus on that small section of the market, because you know that, okay, you're probably going to be booking less calls, you're going to be getting less meetings, less clients, but at least you can be damn sure that you can close these at a high rate and you know exactly how to serve them, and you have the perfect service tailored to them, so you can charge them more. Again, super simple, but I see everyone mess up with this all the time and it's killing me. And I've done the same mistake for so many times. It's crazy, because then what happens is suddenly your calendar is filled with 100 meetings, and yeah, it's great, you'll make a bunch of money from that, but that's the only damn thing that you're going to be doing with your days. You're going to be on calls 8 hours a day and you can't even sell to half of these people. Just inefficient, especially if you don't have a big team. And this ties perfectly into our core mistake number 3. I already teased at it a little bit in the beginning, but your unique positioning. And at least in the marketing world, if you read any marketing books, Eugene Schwartz, whatever, it's a concept called unique mechanism. And in a lot of cases, people think that the unique mechanism is just the marketing function. It's just a fancy thing that you add into your headline. You say, we use this secret AI framework, yada, yada, yada. Means pretty much nothing. But what I truly mean is actually building a better and a unique way to get those results. Even if you have the same service, if you're right now selling Facebook ads, you can still be selling Facebook ads, but you just have to build a better process for creating the ads and researching the ads and launching the ads and doing the media buying. Just iterate on it and just improve your own process, because if you're selling the exact same thing that everyone else is selling, if every single Facebook advertising agent in the world is selling the same process, you can be super fucking sure that you're going to be compared to each one of those agencies, and you're forced to compete on price, and it's going to be really hard to close anyone, and it's just going to be a big mess. So take your process and think about it and look at it. How can I actually make this better? Can I add a step? Can I remove a step? Can I do a step better? Can I build some kind of a custom funnel? Can I do a better research process, whatever, to get better results for our clients? A great example of this, one of my friends who was selling Facebook advertising services, Facebook ads, to a really, really small Nordic market, and he was charging $500 a month for their service. He was positioned in such a commodized way that he was getting compared to all of our competitors, so he just had to keep dropping the price to be able to close any clients, because there was like a million other companies who were doing the same thing. We changed his positioning, changed his positioning and added a few tweaks into how he delivers his service, so he looks and feels and actually is better than all of his competitors. And in 2 weeks, he went from charging $500 a month for charging $4,000 a month. Pretty much the same service, still selling Facebook ads, still selling to the same marketplace, but we just added a few bits and pieces into his process so he can get way better results for his clients, and it was actually something unique that they had never seen. So if you actually look at the transformation that you're achieving for clients, let's say you're working with Norwegian accounting companies and you help them go from relying fully on inbound to actually being able to book meetings from outbound, figure out what is the best and most efficient way to deliver this transformation and show it to your clients. Hey, everyone else is doing this and this and this, and they're using these 3 steps. We actually changed it and we are doing these 3 steps, and they're a little bit different. And the reason why we do this is because it's better and faster and stronger and, whatever it might be. And boom, suddenly you are the only person in the marketplace that actually sells that service. And this will have massive impact. And even if you have to put in double the amount of time to deliver that service for our clients, let's say you add some kind of a research step in their process, or let's say you start calling all the leads manually or whatever. Let's say you add something to your service and suddenly you have to spend twice as much time to deliver the service and actually fulfill on it. You can charge 4, 5, 6, or 8 times more than your competitors and than you previously were charging. Again, a great example from my friend. So would you rather work 10 hours for a client and make $2,000 or work 20 hours and make $8,000? That's a pretty fucking obvious question, you know? It's better to have less clients, but have a better service, even if it takes more time to deliver, because you can charge exponentially more. You can charge 4, 5, 6, 10 times more, even if it only takes twice as long to fulfill on. And a really easy way to do this and figure out how to actually position your service in a unique way is just go talk to the market. This is such an overlooked step, and especially in the day of ChatGPT and AI, all this stuff, people go and they ask ChatGPT, what are the pain points of my niche? And what are the things that my niche wants? And what are the dreams for my niche? Yeah, that's all good. That's all great. But if you truly want to get the deep market research, the deep market insights that let you do this and create positioning like this, is just go talk to the market. Call them. Hey, John, I am running an agency that helps Norwegian accounting companies go from relying on inbound to outbound. And I just wanted to quickly ask you a few questions. I'm not trying to sell here or anything. I'm just trying to see like, what's your situation? And in exchange for your time, I'll send you a $50 Amazon gift card. And boom. And you ask them, hey, what are you doing right now? What would ideal such a situation look like to you? Have you ever worked with similar companies? What went wrong? What did you like? What you didn't like? Just ask them a bunch of questions. Ask them what they want to buy. Ask them what they don't want to buy. Ask them what they feel is valuable, and just fucking sell them that. It's that simple. And boom, suddenly, yeah, you might have to spend a bit more time on fulfillment. Yeah, it might be a bit more time consuming or whatever, but you can hire a team anyways. And suddenly, twice as much fulfillment means that you're charging 4 times more, 6 times more, 8 times more. It's an asymmetric action to take. And that's what we want to do when we're in business. And the last core foundation that you actually need when scaling to 50 to 100,000 a month is your operations and your team structure. And in a second, I'm going to actually show you what this looks like when we do it and show you the SOPs and all that stuff. But most agencies are unorganized as hell. It's crazy when I look into some of these agencies, they're doing 10,000 a month and they're it's just all over the place. It's pretty crazy to look at. They have no idea how to do or what kind of systems they're running. Everything is organized everywhere. They have no data anywhere. They have like one VA who is doing like a million different things and it's super fucking inefficient. And it's just a big, massive mess. And even though, yes, hiring will decrease your profit margins, it will also make your life so much better, and it actually will give you the opportunity to scale your agency once you start hitting the capacity limit. And at a certain extent, like this is pretty crazy, a lot of people don't even know this, but every single agency at a certain point just bottlenecks on operations. When you have your marketing figured out, when you have your sales figured out, when you have a good offer, a good service, you're gonna be able to bring on a lot of clients. You're gonna be forced to put on a wait list because you just can't take more. So then the only thing that is holding you back from scaling is figuring out how can you hire more people, how can you hire better people, how you can hire them faster, and how you can train them better. And that's gonna become the only bottleneck. And again, we see this, like once you start hitting the 100K a month mark, that's what it all comes down to, no matter what you are selling. And how you actually wanna look at it is extremely simple. And again, this is of course a pretty small example. There's like a million different processes and systems that goes in at an agency when it's, for example, at 100,000 a month or even 50,000 a month. So I won't be able to show you every single step, but this is how you want to look at it. For every single part of your agency, there's going to be some kind of a process. And here's the onboarding process and this SOP pretty much just showcases roles and responsibilities. So every single time when you sign a new client, there's going to be a specific set of actions happening. The client agrees on the partnership and terms. Boom, we need to have that mapped out. We need to schedule an onboarding call. The contract is sent to the client. Boom, both parties sign the contract. The invoice is sent to the client. Boom, 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 boom. There's going to be every single time the same actions happening. So you might as well fucking systemize it and make it into a standardized operating procedure. And then once you do this, there's a few beautiful things that you can do. First of all, if you have any team members, you can assign this task to team members. So for example, here, you might be the blue thing. So you are the person who's scheduling the onboarding call, and you're going to be the person who's hosting the onboarding call. Then if you have an executive assistant, so let's say you have a really small lean team, so you have an EA, the EA is going to be handling all of these things. Boom. They again know what they should be doing. They don't have to be guessing. They don't have to be confused. Then there's mapped out what does the client have to do. So here the client has to, of course, sign the contract and pay the invoice. And there's going to be some actions that both parties have to do. And then for every single one of these things, you can create your own SOP. So for example, hosting an onboarding call, you can just have an SOP for exactly what this looks like. Boom, Preparation. How do you need to prepare? What do you need to set up? What do you need to ask during the call? What are the questions that you need to have answers to? What is the post-call actions? Who's going to be doing it? Who's going to be doing it? It's so simple once you actually break it down to these things. And then once you're hiring people, you just show them, hey, these are going to be your responsibilities. These are going to be my responsibilities. These are going to be John's responsibilities. And this is what you have to do every single time when you sign a client. And you should have a workflow like this for every single thing. For marketing, for sales, for hiring, for training, for making SOPs. You should have an SOP for making SOPs, for onboarding clients. Like here's another example. Like this is a workflow on our fulfillment side when we take on a sales letter client and we have to write them a sales letter and do all this sales optimization stuff. Like here's an example. First step is, okay, does the client have a clearly written sales argument? And then we have all of these different steps. And okay, if not, or if yes, we do this and that and this. Like it's going to be super easy to forecast what's going to be happening, and you can hire people way better when you can tell them directly, hey, every single time when X happens, you have to do steps A, B, and C. And also, what most people don't realize, this also has massive impact when actually closing clients. When a client is on with you on a sales call, the first thing that they want to know is, okay, what's going to happen after I pay you the money? If you can just pull up this and you can just show them, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is going to take 3 days, or this is going to take 24 hours. After this happens, we're going to do this, and we're going to go through this, and we're going to do this. And you can just show them step by step by step what exactly is going to happen. You're going to be able to show them that you're way more professional than any of your competitors. You're going to remove all kinds of fears and objections that they might have in mind because they're afraid that they're going to get fucking scammed. And third, the client is going to have realistic expectations for what's going to happen. So there's no confusion, there's no buying remorse, there's no complaints or refunds. They know exactly what they're getting into. Hey John, you pay the invoice and these 25 things are gonna happen in the next 14 days. Do you want it or not? It's that simple. And I know there's a bunch of mumbo jumbo online about, hey, do this and do that and all these kinds of crazy videos and claims, but this is stuff that we do every single day to this date in 2025. So it still works, and that's how we run our agency. And using these exact same fundamentals, we have been able to work with people like Casper, who scaled from 10,000 a month to 100,000 a month in 10 months. And we use this positioning process for 2 guys who we work with who run an agency in a super saturated niche. They were doing like 10K a month, stuck after 2 years, still at 10K a month. We implemented new positioning, we implemented unique mechanism, we implemented their cold email stuff, and boom, in 8 months they went from 10K a month to 75K a month. They've been waitlisted ever since, just fucking bottlenecked because they can't hire more people in their team. They have unlimited clients. Or Leevi and Eerola, who we have worked with for the past year almost. The first 8 months when we worked together, we implemented their positioning process, their cold email stuff, all that stuff. They went from being stuck at 10K a month for 2 years to boom, going to 75K a month in 8 months. Again, using this process. Or Wesley and Enoch, they started with us like 15 months ago. They were at $0. They were like 95 software developers. We implemented this process for them. They went from 0 to 115,000 a month, like consistent months after those 15 months. And yeah, there's like, if you want to see if this stuff is legit and if this works, just go to my YouTube channel and playlist, and there's gonna be like crazy amount of these similar stories and similar interviews with these people. Like this stuff fucking works. Like go take action on it. Like this is the actual stuff that you have to do to build a real profitable agency, and not some guru theoretical mumbo jumbo, you know, based on just like a thesis or an idea that they have. And that is like 5% of everything that I have when it comes to scaling a growth marketing agency. As I said, we have been doing this for like 7 years, and there's a lot to take in. But if you just take one of those things and go implement it and go focus on that on your business, I'm sure you will make a bunch more money in the next 30 days. If you're interested in scaling your agency further and faster and working with me personally one-on-one, go click the first link in the description and book a call with me, and I'll show you how everything works. And of course, go watch the rest of the videos on my channel, like, subscribe, do whatever you want, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.